Hello, YouTube. The Season 3 Mario's Gamer World Circuit Championship has concluded, and we have the deck profile for the winner. Why don't you introduce yourself, sir?
Hey, I'm Michael. I'm Canadian, and I'm very happy to have won Mario's tournament.
Of course. And judging by what we see here, it looks like you decided to play BlackWarGreymon, a deck which has no EX4 cards in it. So why did you decide on BlackWarGreymon?
Uh, Personal experience, and I just feel like it's the deck that I know well. There's other decks I like in the format, but this is the one where I tend to make the most right decisions.
The most right decisions. You know what? I don't hate that reasoning. You're playing what's comfortable. I think that makes sense. All right, YouTube, you know the drill. Like, comment, subscribe. Smash potatoes, that subscribe button. That way you know when all these videos go live. You feel free to take it away. You can start with the rookies if you want.
Right. Um, Promo Agumon plus 2000 inheritable. Uh, there's not much DP gain in this deck, and when you swing into security, usually that's the biggest threat when it comes to size. You don't want to hit like a Death X, a Quartz, or anything else that's really big. And EX4, sometimes you'll even see a Shine Greymon, a Rune mode. Those are all 15K. So um, Agumon plus Cormon gives my 13 KDP level 6s the extra 3 they need to safely attack security. This one, Agumon X, obviously you play it in Greymon. And the black-red one, the new one, uh, I think that one's the best hard drop searcher. What I really like to do if I have it is go open Digivolve on my egg with this Agumon and hard play that. And then I'll follow up the turn by playing a Cool Boy and going into Agumon X. And the amount of value I get in the early game just sets me up for the rest of the match.
Okay. Understandable. Solid rookie lineup. Talk to me about the champions now.
Okay, so we only play one of the BT5 Greymons. Um, Sometimes you miss this guy and you need a little bit of extra DP boost. It's also a really cheap way to evo into your level 4. Like, for example, there are cards like Quartz where they go into it and you don't really have an answer. So you could promote your rookie, go straight into this guy for one memory, and then go into a Metal Greymon to de-digivolve it, and that will be enough to, um, get back in the game. And if I have a Digimon like Gaiomon or Metal Greymon, it will reboot because on their turn the quartz is gone. So the one cost Evo does come up where you need to quickly go into a 5. Blocker Greymon, I think this is the most unconventional choice. What I've seen a lot of people do is switch to the Agumon, I mean, sorry, the Greymon that came with this Agumon. Uh, the two color one or the EX1 Greymon, because those both have the ability to play your 3 cost ties for free. And people are playing a lot of these ties to give your stacks blocker. I decided not to go that route. I'm more comfortable with the old-fashioned BlackWarGreymon. And the other reason behind that is because I practice so much with V Passion, who's a really good hunter player, and I did not want to rely on Tamers. So he taught me to win using this Greymon rather than relying on the Tamer. Um, this Greymon X, obviously, it's the protection. It's more reliable as a source of protection than this Greymon X because you just need 2 cards in source. You don't need the X antibody. So I put it as a 4 of because that's the one I'm usually going to go into if I'm playing against heavy deletion style decks or bounce style decks like Metal Garurumon or Beelzemon. And then just this guy's a 1 of, he's limited, but it works well.
That's that. It does. It's a limited card. Your ultimate lineup looks just pretty standard for BT8 and then for BT11 Metal Gray X. That's just pretty basic, I think.
Yeah. So I tested um I tested 3 of these and one of the new one that has piercing and raid. I tested the other way around where I had 1 of these and 3 of the raid. I tested 1 of these and 3 of the metal, the mono red color metal X, and the other way around, and just to get a feel of what they feel like in the deck together. And I decided to go fully with these and this because I'm not playing WarGreymon, so I don't really have a way to attack my opponent's unsuspended Digimon unless I have this Metal Greymon. Uh, and without a way to attack unsuspended, I'm just basically a big beat stick. But I want to be more than that. I want to control the board with my level sixes. This guy is the accessory to the control. And this one, I think if you I think people are not expecting this one, especially in game one, because it's really fallen off in popularity. But you can go Metal Greymon into him, or attach your X antibody to your Greymon stack, and then go on top of it with Metal X and delete a 6 cost or less, which is most level 4s in the game. And if your opponent's not expecting you to be able to do that at that point in time, you're going to get really ahead because, well, 4 memory to kill something is a pretty good deal, especially when you're left with something else behind. And the inheritable to trash is very relevant, especially when your opponent is playing a lot of Tamers or very big Digimon or options that could remove you or make your stack weaker. Um, and I was expecting to see a lot more Shine Greymon Ruin modes. Uh, this card, it would have protected me, um, because I could go into it on their turn. They would go into a Shine Gray, maybe not be able to wipe out my Digimon. And then by hopefully I'm bigger than 10,000, because I think that that's how much damage they would do. Then I could just survive on my turn. So I think that on my turn, if I had this Agumon, the egg, I evoed into this the turn that they wanted to go into Shine Gray. It just denies their plan. They can't kill my level 5. Also, the D-Digivolve protection is mostly there. It's mostly useful against Chaosdramon from the Machine Dramon deck. I didn't run into any of that, and I'm probably happy I didn't. But that helps a lot with that too. Machine Dramon, yeah.
I was hoping you'd talk about Shine Gray Ruin mode because I saw 4 copies of that in your deck list. I'm like, oh, he knows it's a card. All right, that's good. That was my thought process. I'm like, yeah, it's a good card, but yeah, Ruin mode for sure. All right, sixes. Talk to me about your ratios.
All right. So I'm thinking of this. So usually I would play 6 level 6s, but I very recently went up to 7. Um, in most cases, unless the opponent is putting a lot of pressure on me, I would prefer to go into BlackWarGreymon first before going into one of the X antibody level 6s. The thing I like about BlackWarGreymon is that you're given enough memory the turn you go into him, you're controlling their Tamers and their Digimon, and there's no reason why after you swung twice, you can't just go into a BlackWarGreymon X, kill something else that you didn't manage to attack when he unsuspends on their turn with reboot. And then it will also trigger this one. All of these level 6s here, except for BlackWarGreymon, trigger the trash of security. Um, this one, I it's probably the one that I rely. It's best in conjunction with the X antibody option. Uh, it's more common that I'll be a level 5. I can't answer my opponent's Digimon, so I'll attach the X antibody to the stack, swing into their security, and on attack with the X antibody, Digivolve into him. I don't care if I'm giving my opponent 5 memory, and in some cases give them 6 memory, because I did that against a Hydra. Um, if I clear board, I'm ahead. I don't care how much memory I gave them. And Gaiomon, he's good for control, but if you have this combo, he's a turn 2 kill. Because usually what I'll do is I'll promote and go into a level 5. As long as I have the bounce protection, I'm usually pretty safe to go into the level 5. And then when it's my turn again, I'll for one go into this level 5 and then go into Gaiomon, swing, 2 checks with Gaiomon, unsuspend on the opponent's turn, trash another security. Then, if they don't answer the Gaiomon, my follow-up turn, promote my rookie, do another 2 checks, and rookie for game.
Cool. All right. And what about the Omnimons, the 1-1?
I think this guy is a lot better as a control card, because he bottom decks your opponent's uh, Digimon. It's it's good to get rid of Digimon that have on deletion effects. There was a misplay I made in the tournament where I think I would have made the right play evoing into this, but I gave my opponent too much memory that was unnecessary. Um, the trashing a card from security could come up as a final win condition. The combo with that is you have the 6 out, you attach the X antibody, you swing, trigger X antibody digivolve. Doesn't matter if you're paying 5 or whatever. Uh, Now this is on its way into the opponent's security, but before hitting them, you're gonna bottom deck either the option or the level 6, and that will let you trash one of their security after looking at their security. You get to choose which one to trash, and now their biggest threat is gone, and if they only had one security, that is a lethal attack. And Blitz Omnimon is kind of similar. It's like, let's say I attack my opponent. Let's say we did the same example as before. I did 2 checks plus a security burn. Follow-up turn, I promote Agumon. Swing again with Gaiomon. I hit an option in security, and the option kills the Agumon, and I otherwise couldn't go for game. Now with Blitz Omnimon, I can go for game.
Yep. All right, I like that. Your options: the 2X antibody, the 2 red boost, and the 2 Hades.
Well, Hades is sometimes a bad card, honestly. Like in some matchups, I wish that it was just in security and not in my hand because a lot of the Tamer control is comes from BlackWarGreymon and it's good enough with him. He's usually Hades Force is usually good as a cheap removal. Like let's say they have a lot of blockers out and I want to win that turn. Uh, Hades Force and Swing if they have no if I wipe out all of their small blockers, it just gets me the game in some matchups, like against Hunters or Crossheart, yes, you do need Hades Force, or otherwise they will overwhelm you. I don't think that came up too much in the recent tournament. Uh, and yeah, this card is fine, uh, but it's situational. It's really situational. I think you could run it as a one-of, but two is just there because if I am playing against Hunters, then I absolutely need it to win. I think I could beat Hunters without seeing a Hades Force.
Okay.
And then, yeah, talked about a little bit about X Antibot already. Red Memory Boost, it's there for the Hunters matchup. Um, I don't want to expose my Digimon, and I don't want to be playing Tamers to pass turn if I don't have a stack built. It's the one of the deepest searches I can do in the deck for a cheap cost since I'm getting the memory back. I prefer to go turn one Agumon play because it's the threat of an extra body. But sometimes you don't want to play that. Let's say your opponent is playing WarGreymon, they have raid, and when they raid, they can play a Tamer, or they have piercing and unsuspend when they redirect. So it's like all these reasons why you might not want to play a Digimon out, even if you have to search. So Red Memory Boost comes up where it's a great alternative search. And then I have one tie and one Yuya, two Cool Boys. Um,
3 cool boys.
yeah, you really, first of all, with tie, you really need blocker in the deck. Uh, I learned that very, like, seriously, I don't know the word, but I learned that from Ultimate Cup. You cannot win a lot of games without blocker. Only having four here makes it a bit tough. I think that the typical decks that play four ties is more consistent with having blocker because you could play the tie at any time, whereas you have to Evo with this, and if you miss it, you miss it. So this is basically a fifth Greymon. I don't think that the tie has much synergy with the deck overall. I can't even play it for free. I just have to hard play it. But if I need a blocker and I don't have one, tie is the expensive way to get a blocker out. Yuya is just um, there for the security control matchups. I never really need to um, memory set to 3. I don't find like that's a win or lose case scenario. But if I'm playing something that I has options in their security that I know um, my Greymon X will not protect me against, like for example, D-Digivolve, or in some cases DP reduction. In case most of the time you're not gonna attack the turn you digivolved into this guy. So DP reduction will be important to protect you against. And Chaos Degrade if that's being played. I'm not seeing anybody play that card. Cool Boy at 3. Again, just don't want to play too many Tamers because uh, the places I practice in play a lot of Hunters, and Tamers are not that uh, good to rely on in that meta. Also, when you play 4 Cool Boys, you tend to think, oh, it's a one-cost Tamer because I'm going to play it and then Evo and get one of the memory back right away. It's good value. What I found when I play too many Cool Boys is that I'm playing a game to finish off my opponent before I deck myself out. Because the card draw from this engine is so powerful that you're actually decking yourself out most of the time when you're playing multiple of these. So I prefer to only drop 1 Cool Boy per game. Um, the fourth Cool Boy used to be a tie, and then I swapped. That was the cut and change.
Mm-hmm.
That's the whole deck.
Fair enough. Chat wanted to know your matchups, if you remember them.
Okay. Uh, Let me see. Round 1, I was against um, Alpharuchis. He was playing. I forget what he was playing. I can't remember right now. I remember that there was a Hunter player at the beginning of the tournament. Um, that was round 2. That was Jalen. He was playing Hunter. Um, I don't think he had the right cards to aggro me out because he didn't do the typical cross into a level 4 to play a Tamer for free. So that's what you want to be doing turn 1 with Hunter, and he didn't have that speed. And then later in the game, after I deleted his Tamers, he didn't have a way to rebuild.
Mm-hmm.
So that was thanks to Hades Force and also BlackWarGreymon. The combination to delete his Tamers when I evo into this, and then do it again when he tries to reset. Uh, it gives me such an advantage, and when I see he doesn't have any Tamers anymore, now I can start playing a Cool Boy if I want because I'm not worried about him tucking it, or I can promote out a second stack because I'm not worried about it being tucked.
Mm-hmm.
Round 3 was against Spence Spark. He was playing the OTK War Greymon, and he was not able to find his pieces in both matches. I played against him also earlier this week, and he crushed me 2-0. And what I learned from that matchup was that I cannot give him time. In that original matchup earlier this week, I spent my early game playing Cool Boy here, Red Memory Boost, Yuya, and that gave him the time to search. So what I decided to do was give him as much memory as I want and just go straight into Gaomon and start attacking him. And I did that. One of the games, and it worked really well. So because he didn't have time to search, I was able to beat him before he picked up his pieces. The matchup for his side was a little bit unfair though because I saw him do many searches and missing on cards he could pick up. Maybe he would have won the match because his deck is very fast and aggressive. Um,
Okay.
Round 4, I played against Rip Lungs. He beat me. Rip Lungs was playing Mervamon and Minervamon. And game 1, I bricked. I had to hard play a level 4. Didn't do that much. Game 2, I also bricked. I had to hard play a level 4. I was off to a bad start. And I think I could have beaten him if I had a little bit more tempo to my side. But who knows? He beat me.
Okay.
Round 5 was against Misplays. I remembered my round 1. Round 1 against Alpha Ruchis was against Wargreymon mirror match.
Okay.
Um, I think he let me delete his stack a bit easily. I mean, I had one of these guys, and it was a back and forth, but eventually the person who bricks first is the one that's going to lose because you don't really have unlimited pieces and unlimited stacks to build into. So I was a little bit uh, more lucky with my stacks being able to survive. Uh, Round 5 was the first round of Top Cut, played against Misplays. I am forgetting right now what he played. So I'll
Bloom
see.
Lord.
Bloom Lord, right. Okay. piece of advice against WarGreymon. If you're Bloom Lord, doesn't matter how big your deck is against, I mean, how big your field is against BlackWarGreymon. BlackWarGreymon clears everything. Uh, there were times where he would give me memory at the benefit to him of having a big board, but my deck was able to clear everything every time, and he didn't realize the potential that this deck has to clear wide boards with no deletion protection, right? So unfortunately, he lost. I think it came down to um, not having a lot of experience against BlackWarGreymon, because when I had my BlackWarGreymon X antibody out, he was not uh, totally aware of the unsuspending on the opponent's turn, allowing it to be allowing me to delete their lowest play cost. And he did play around that after he realized what it did. Um, so he had a cool play where he got out four Digimon, had an unsuspended Agitar, went into Bloom Lord at zero memory, unsuspended, suspended his Pomumon to suspend my uh, WarGreymon X, sorry, BlackWarGreymon X, and then because nothing on his side was unsuspended on his turn, I was not able to trigger the deletion, and he was able to swing over at 16k, three checks. So he played really well after he figured it out, but you have to understand this card if you're going to play a deck with unsuspends, because this is going to beat you up. It also has redirect.
Mm-hmm.
Turn Round six was the young I don't know how to say his name, Hale Manu kid,
Little Hawaiian kid.
little Hawaiian kid. Okay,
Yeah.
so he was awesome. If you watch that game, we both played at blitz lightning speed. Like we both knew exactly what we were doing. We didn't waste time thinking, and he didn't make any mistakes at all. Actually, he played really well going into the blitz Greymon to try to slow me down. Unfortunately for him, I had more cards I needed, and he bricked, and that happened back to back. Um, that's that sucks, right? But it was in my the shuffle of the deck was in my favor.
Mm-hmm.
Final round was against Savior Kupo, and um, he was playing really well. We played together a week ago at Ultimate Cup, and then after the round ended, we spent about half an hour talking about our decks. And he made a change to his Beelzemon deck. He was playing Mist Memory Boost before, and he decided to cut them all out and play Purple Memory Boost. Reason being, your only search in your deck that can search a rookie when you're bricked is Purple Memory Boost or the Iron Mako, and he didn't like bricking. And in the tournament game we played together, he was able to pull out a rookie when he bricked from the Purple Memory Boost. So it is a good card in the deck. Now, it doesn't have synergy with trashing, um, but it's really good because you need in a deck that doesn't have search for low curve stuff except for Ayamako, you need that extra help. Um, Against him, my main goal was to get out one of these uh, with protection. In game one, I think I was able to do it, but I also made the mistake of digivolving into this guy after giving him after like using up too much memory. So he had a Beelzemon X that on deletion was going to play an Impmon, and he had a Belmon that on deletion was going to play a Beelzemon. And normally you could just kill both of them very easily with a card like this, but I would have left one body in play. And if that actually, I would have left two bodies in play, and I didn't have a way to fully clear his board. Um, so what I did was I promoted my rookie. The mistake that I made was to play tie. I was at five memory, so I played tie, go to two, and then digivolve to this guy, tap the tie, pay two, begin memory back, go to one, and then digivolve into this to bottom deck his level six, so that all he would have left is a Balmon, and um, I would have two blockers. This would have blocker because of this inheritable, and as long as I have another red Digimon in play, it has blocker. So I had blocker here and blocker here. but he knew that. He knew how this worked. So he just he had 6 memory. With 4 memory, he deleted that with a uh, Death Slinger, and then just swung past this guy because the blocker is gone after I have no red in play. What I should have done was just promote the Agumon, Digivolve to this, and give him 2 memory because he put me to 5, so this would cost 7. And then I would have Agumon. Now, the only way he could win in that case was if he swung with the Balmon Trash 3, because it was that version of Balmon. If he trashed a Blast Mode, he could kill my Agumon, and then I win. And then after the game was over, he said, yeah, my Blast Mode was in my security. So I was like, well, I mean, I don't know if I would have won the game if I played that differently, but at least I could have played it better. Uh, Game two, I won because I played the control game and I had this out with, you know, I did not let him have anything stick on board. In game three, I went so quick. I did the combo that I was talking about, uh, where I attack for 2, trash the third, then the next turn promote the Agumon, do another 2 swings, and just the cherry on top, I also had the Blitz Omni in my hand, just in case this died to a security check, but it didn't die, but yeah, that's how it went. So, I mean, I got lucky today. BlackWarGreymon is great. There are decks that can beat it. I really like the consistency of all the searchers at low levels, like Boy, Red Boost, the Agumons, gives you a chance to come back from a bad hand. And I like the protection that you need when you're attacking certain decks. I like the D-Digivolve effects that lets you basically always be bigger than whatever your opponent's doing. And I like the finishers that this deck has. These are not exclusive to this deck, but they work really well because you're already playing cards like X Antibody, and you're already playing a red top end. This just works.
Nice.
Yeah.
Any shout outs you want to give before we're done?
Okay. Shout out to my locals, Game Shack in Toronto. Shout out to V Passion, who helps me practice. Shout out to my best friend Jeff, who practices with me, and uh, Munfusion from some other servers, and lastly, Haven, another Toronto server.
Nice. Perfect. All right. Thank you for taking the time out of your day to do the interview, and congrats on your win.
Thanks, Mario.
You're welcome. Bye, YouTube.
Bye.